The $21 billion round trip. Nvidia just disclosed a $21 billion equity stake in SpaceX, making the chipmaker the sixth largest shareholder in the exact company buying all of its newest hardware. This position wasn't bought on the open market. It converted from a prior $10 billion investment in XAI right after Elon Musk folded the startup into his newly public rocket conglomerate. But Nvidia isn't acting as a traditional venture firm hunting for a liquidity event. They are using their massive balance sheet to engineer a closed-loop supply chain, effectively financing the capital expenditures of their own largest customers. And the true cost of this capital is buried in the exclusivity commitments SpaceX just handed over. The Vera Rubin lock-in. During SpaceX's first public earnings call, the company reported an astonishing $15.8 billion in capital expenditure for a single quarter. Almost immediately, Musk declared SpaceX will build its data centers exclusively on Nvidia. They are standardizing both their terrestrial facilities and their new StarMind orbital computing satellites entirely on Nvidia's upcoming Vera Rubin architecture. By taking equity instead of cash for early hardware access, Nvidia guaranteed that when SpaceX hit the public markets to scale up to 2 gigawatts of compute, competitor chips from AMD simply weren't an option. But the leverage Nvidia gains here goes far beyond a standard vendor lock-in. Balance sheet recycling. This is a masterclass in balance sheet recycling. Nvidia commits billions to top-tier artificial intelligence operators. Those operators use that exact funding to purchase Nvidia processors, and the revenue gets booked to Nvidia's top line. It artificially props up end-market demand while insulating Nvidia's margins from traditional enterprise tech cycles. When a customer is partly owned by your own treasury and contractually bound to your hardware, the revenue stream is structurally protected. The real question is how this financial maneuvering reshapes the wider semiconductor market. What this actually means. The reality of this $21 billion round trip is that Nvidia has quietly transformed from a hardware vendor into a merchant bank for the artificial intelligence sector. By weaponizing its own equity to fund SpaceX's hardware binges and secure the Vera Rubin architecture rollout, Nvidia isn't just winning orders, it is actively setting the capital requirements for the entire industry. For infrastructure operators and competing chipmakers, this completely changes the math. You can no longer compete with Nvidia simply by designing a faster or cheaper processor. You now have to compete with their treasury department. If you cannot offer a client billions in immediate balance sheet relief alongside your silicon, you cannot win the mega contracts. The ultimate tell on whether this circular structure is sustainable will hit in their next 10Q filing, when we see if Nvidia is forced to adjust the valuation of these recycled investments to protect its core operating margins. Subscribe for more.